Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Alpha 3 of Ground of Aces. My name is Ben. I work on a marketing team for Blink Studios, and today I get to run you through the key updates and changes since Alpha 2. So before we get into the game, I would like to click on the roadmap and show you where we are. So we have delivered Alpha 1 and Alpha 2, gotten amazing feedback, and that helped us develop Alpha 3. As you can see, Alpha 4 and 5 will be released in quick succession, and then we're already creeping into early access territory, and then ultimately early access updates and full release. Now, all this is to be taken with just a grain of salt, so some of these things might be pushed back a little bit as it is with indie development. And a quick mention of our socials and our Discord. If you're not on our Discord, feel free to join us. We're very welcoming. You can talk to the devs a little bit. You can give your ideas, feedback, share your World War II stories, anything you want. We're on Discord every day. So let's start a new game and I'll show you what is new on Alpha 3. So firstly, let's talk about the map. A whole bunch of resources have now been moved around or added, such as new sand traps lying around the map. Because let's face it, you will at some point run out of sand. We got feedback that some of you guys couldn't find the herb plants or there weren't enough herb plants, so now we have a huge herb plant patch right in the middle of the field. Did I also mention there will be more sand patches? Or that there will be more sand patches? Or maybe I forgot to mention the sand patches. And the same goes for clay, clay, and clay. We've also introduced some new assets such as the wild beans, a wild tomato, or wild grain. Now, these are some of the things that introduce a brand new system called gardening. So gardening allows you to define an area where you would like to either focus on harvesting seeds or harvesting food. You will obviously need both to be sustainable. And this drop-down table here allows you to pick grains, beans, potatoes, or tomatoes, each of which will give you a different value of food as an output. But these will take longer to produce. After you've defined whether you want to create seeds or food in your garden, you guys will go ahead and start planting whatever they need, be it grain seeds, bean seeds, potato seeds, or tomato seeds. Now, gardening will require some work, so you have to allocate some people to the gardening task. Is at this point we want to introduce another new asset, the water pump. So you can think of the water pump as a pond. Ponds are scattered around the map sporadically and you can get water from them whenever you need. Depending on where they are, it could be quite a distance before you get to a water source. A water pump lets you put your water source wherever you need it without having to walk around too far. And you can obviously build as many water pumps as you want next to each other or far apart. That is up to you. You may have also noticed that we have 2 damaged cars and an old fence right next to the starting position of the map. That is to give you some extra metal if you need it. Now on to the workbenches. You will see that there are some particle effects for some of the workbenches, like the kitchen, the other kitchen, the metalworks workbench, and the brick station. Though not complete yet, there are some added animations to the workbenches when people work, as you can see on the saw station. The tailor station also has its own animations. The clay station also has some effects now. And of course, where would we be without our trusty cement mixer particle effects? The metalworks workbench also has its nice particle effects now. And let's face it, the most important two, the 2 kitchens. You can see the vegetables dancing around there and on the chopping board down here. The boiler tank and the distillery also have new animations when on idle. Canning station, new effects. Espionage radio, new effects all around here. Electronic workbench, also showing some electronics while working. And so far, those are the updates for the workbenches, more impending. It used to be you have to go through the arduous process of picking up mushrooms and picking berries in order for your base to survive. So now that gardening produces so much food at once, you will become fully self-sustainable. And this means, say it with me, no more picking mushrooms. Building runways used to take up a lot of time because each individual square needed to be built. So now instead of one character covering 1 square per dig, it covers an entire area, which means building a runway is a lot faster. This becomes particularly useful when you have to upgrade your tier to a larger size. It used to take a long time to destroy rocks on the field, but now that time has been shortened and it happens a lot faster. So on the matter of work, you no longer need to click individual sleep schedules per hour. You can just click and drag and highlight the hours that you want to have leisure time, work, or sleep. So let's move on to the plane side of things. We have larger planes now which require larger parking spots. There is also improved pathfinding, so you can see where the planes have to navigate to take off. Parking spots had to be attached to the runway at some point, but now you can freely put your parking spot wherever you want. Once you finish building your runway, it will automatically change the surface below it to dirt. Up until now, we've only had the Hawker Hurricane and the Supermarine Spitfire as our only 2 options for planes. Well, this has now been expanded. In addition to being able to have more planes on your base, we now have the Gloucester Gladiator, the Bristol Beaufighter, the Bristol Blenheim, and the largest of them all, the Lancaster. And when you click on your planes, you now have a 3D preview of the plane. This is for all of you plane aficionados who just love to look at a very nice plane. You also notice the crew that will be joining the plane when they land on the base. So as ever, when your plane lands, you will be introduced to new crew members who exit the plane. As before, when your plane lands, you will be introduced to the new crew members of your base who will exit the plane. In the case of the Lancaster, you will have 7 new crew members, and you will have to feed all of them. Hovering over your plane, you will see that your plane has integrity, health, and fuel, also reflected down here below with these 3 bars. You will be able to manage your crew in this brand new plane crew management interface. This allows you to handpick which pilot, which crew goes to which plane whenever you want, and you can click and drag to remove them as you wish. Picking the right people will depend heavily on their stats, so if everyone's in the green, you should be alright, but if they're in the red, that might be an issue. So you are allowed to have 10 planes on your base at all times. It is up to you to decide how you wish to balance this out. So remember, planes have their strengths and weaknesses in this game, and depending on the mission, you will need to send the right planes off into the right missions. On that note, there are some new assets to introduce, the hangar assets. So we have floor, wall, window, roof, and door assets. So now you'll be able to house your planes safely in their own hangars. You can define the sizes to fit your needs. It's also worth noting that planes that are in a hangar do not suffer degradation. Planes that do suffer degradation will have to be repaired regularly. Plane maintenance is a huge issue, so now we have fuel tanks. Fuel tanks will provide you with, you guessed it, fuel, which you can use to refill your planes after you send it onto missions. And to protect your fuel, we can introduce some new assets, the metal fences. You can go ahead and use it to protect your fuel, or you can protect your garden as you wish. And now moving on to one of the biggest things, the mission updates. As you play the game, you will be given random missions. This includes fighter missions, surveillance missions, bombing runs, skill missions, transport missions, or stealth missions. Opening a window, you will see that there are some requirements to a mission. You will see the difficulty level of the mission, how much time you have left, and you will see a success estimate based on the planes that you provide for the mission. With a requirement of 5 to 30 strength, I can choose my planes and send them off into battle with the appropriate pilots. As you can see here, the requirements are met. Their strengths are 20 to 35 and 15 to 25 respectively. Accordingly, the value here changes to 98% success rate. Watch how this number goes down as I remove a plane from the list. Down to 85%, still a very high success rate. So feel free to play around with this and decide who you want to send onto missions. It might not be worth sending everyone onto missions where you know you're going to win, as that will cost fuel and your planes might be damaged on the way back. So choose your crew wisely, who to send on missions, send them off, and then wait for them to return. The pilots will automatically get into their planes and they will take off, and you will be powerless until they come back. You will, however, be updated with dialogue down below in the corner so you can see how your crew is doing. The dialogue will kind of give you an idea of how the mission is going, and when your crew comes back, you will see them land. Your planes will be damaged slightly, it will need some fuel, so that's where you can get back to repairing them. You also have a full mission overview where you can see how well your crew did during the mission. The success of your missions relies heavily on which planes you have chosen, which crew members you have chosen, and what the stats are of the people that you have chosen. Because if their stats are low, the success rate for a mission suddenly drops. You will also have to regularly maintain your plane, as some will be subjected to degradation or some will be damaged during battle. This can simply be done by clicking on a crew member, right-clicking on a plane, and either repairing or maintaining the aircraft depending on the damage. Once you harvest fuel, your crew will automatically refuel the planes that need to be refilled. There are now also multiple save files, so not just the one that we had before. There's also an open saves location button where you can share your save files with your friends or open up theirs. So large by, these are the major updates of Alpha 3. Gardening system, beautiful new particle effects, faster building of the runway, different sizes for parking spots, 4 brand new beautiful planes and the hangars. And last but not least, the missions. There is still a lot more yet to come, still a lot more to be tweaked, and most importantly, we will need your feedback once this alpha has been released. Your ideas have been amazing so far, and we would love to hear some more and improve so that Alpha 4 and 5 will become even better. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If there are any questions regarding the alpha, please let us know in the comments below. Let us know if you want to play. We cannot wait to release this and get your feedback. Take care, guys. Have fun playing, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.